That third quarter did us in for sure. The third quarter did us in for sure. But I mean, bro, like, how mad can you be? You know. So when I look at the bench, we essentially played a, I don't know, like an 8 man rotation tonight.
8 to 7 after Porzingis got hurt. It was
So
just
so we played an 8 man rotation. So Porzingis got hurt. He did.
yeah. He didn't play the whole. I think after did he
He
even
was
play the
dealing
He
with
second
was
half?
injury
getting cooked.
already, and
He
then
was he
they
was
just
already
took him
hurt,
off.
but he was getting
Yeah.
cooked
Okay.
anyway.
All right. So when we made that trade and we traded for Porzingis, niggas was gaslighting us. I said it's only a matter of time, right? And this is a game. We played the last game. Everybody was playing hard and all of that. The key part to basketball is kind of enduring. You know what I'm saying? Because again, this is not a 100-meter race. It's like a 1600-meter race. You know what I'm saying? So when you get somebody like Porzingis, he will get hurt. It's not a matter of if he gets hurt. He will
Yeah,
get
it's
hurt
inevitable. It's
because
inevitable.
you're watching these guys out there play, right? And you know, I used to have this thing where I would just look at these bigs back in the day, right? And the first person I really started to notice, like biomechanically, just watching them run up an NBA court, you know what I'm saying, was Andrew Bynum. And I used to watch Andrew Bynum run up and down the court. And it would be painful to fucking watch Andrew Bynum run up the court. It's the same thing with Porzingis. Every time I watch him run up the court, it's hard to watch, right? And biomechanically, watching him run up and down an NBA court, you know he's not gonna last, bro. You know what I'm saying? So that's the vibe there that I get. Porzingis was a negative 22 tonight, and he looked every bit of the negative 22. So he made some shots or whatever, but watching him guard in space, right? And watching him around the rim and all of that, at all levels defensively, he was bad, right? So his minutes were absolute disaster tonight. You know, the last game he kind of got away with it and whatnot, but my God, was it awful? The awful, awful minutes, bro. Awful, 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 awful minutes.
Eric,
And and
Eric, you
that's what essentially happened in this game tonight, right? So, you know, of course, in a game like this, you're going to overplay Steph, right? Steph had like 17 points tonight, right? And they're overplaying him, and you know, all these other guys are scoring off of that. But it's like, if you're going to turn the ball over on top of that, you know, how many turnovers did they have? They had 20 turnovers. They're not going to win a game with fucking 20 turnovers, and that's the rate that they were moving at. They were moving at a rate of turning the ball over, right? So if you're moving at that rate of turning the ball over, you can't win that game, bro. I'm sorry. You're just not going to win that game. And in the third quarter, they had a good second quarter. And in the third quarter, they just gave it right back. So, I mean, but outside of that, outside of everything that I said, it's either you have these centers that are compromised or you have guards out there, right? So there were your benches, Al Horford, okay? Al Horford. And then you have two guards that are on. You're not going to go anywhere with Al Horford, who, by the way, has been pretty good, right? So you're not going to win with Al Horford off the bench and then two guards, right? So when we
Two
sit
guard.
up here, and we try to delude ourselves that these guards are going to, no, they can't win, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So the last game was an outlier thing, and now you have this situation where you know uh they're turning the ball over left and right, and you see the results of that. You're not going to win these games turning the ball over. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. Back-to-back games, 20 turnovers, and on top of it, they're undersized,
Hey, Irk, did you think tonight's game was basically the same as we played against the Clippers? It's just we didn't
bro.
execute. It
It
was
was
like
no different. It's the same shit. It's literally no different, bro. It's
that's why today I wasn't really tripping because I'm like I saw so many flaws in that Clippers game. I'm like somebody get hot, we're
Yeah.
done. Like because we don't have anybody who could guard wings. We have nobody who was going to stop Jalen Green.
So that's another thing, right? So the Clipper game. I've been noticing something with our defense for years where if we have a guy to key in on, right? If we got a guy to key in on, um, you have a pretty good chance against them, right? Because then you can force them to make plays or whatever, right? But they did a pretty decent job of making plays out of that double. So for instance, Booker, you want to key in on Devin Booker, right? But then you have Devin Booker making plays out of that double. But he had like 8 assists tonight. And then you had Jalen Green, who shot the ball pretty well tonight. So if you're gonna be there and you're going to play make, bro, you gotta have guys that can rotate. And that's where, like the small guard versus athlete thing kicks in. Because if you're gonna play that type of defense where you're gonna, trap and recover, bro, like you need guys that can move their feet and guys that have long arms. You know what I'm saying? And
Eric, every time they got thrown into rotation, I cringed every
bro,
single
it's
time because
and
I
and
knew it was
and
over every
bro,
time.
and the wild part about it is that when they get thrown in rotation, right? Bro, getting thrown in rotation is one thing. So you trap and you recover and all of that. That's one thing. But when you're gonna get blown by, bro, you know
Yep.
what I'm saying? Blow by after blow by, and then you
Or
wonder why these guys are hitting shots. I mean, bro, like
or
that's the thing that we've been talking about. So this group has been talking about you need athletes on the court and you need big people on the court. So I like Guy
But
Santos,
let,
but
let me
fuck,
ask you this.
how many
Let me
times
ask
was
you
Guy
this though.
Santos grabbing for Jersey, bro? Like,
wh-
and I like Guy.
Let me
Guy
ask you this.
Guy's actually
Does the entire
overperformed.
team know this concept though? Does this entire team know the concept of athletes? Like front office.
no,
Do
they
they
do
Listen.
know
know do they know how
We
important it is?
they do
Because if
know the
they
listen,
don't,
concept.
then
listen.
this
They
It's
conversation is
not
do
just
know
the
it.
front
meaningless.
office, bro. It's a fucking fan base because the fan base is going to get these athletes in there and then they're going to start calling them monkeys and stupid and shit like that. That's what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I watch this shit happen over and over again. So if you don't play around this guy and this guy has a ball at the top of the key and you're doing the traffic cop shit and you're not, bro, that shit produces turnovers. Bro, two games in a row, right? This high IQ bullshit, and you produce 2 games in a row with 20 turnovers. You should have seen the points on turnovers today, bro. That's where we lost the game. We it wasn't, oh, this guy hit this shot. No, no, no. We had 30 points off 21 turnovers. How the fuck are you winning an NBA game like that?
You can't.
You can't. And then on top of it, they had us in rotation the entire game. Entire game, bro.
The funny thing about our defense is that we only play better when the team's main focus is trying to have Steph on ball. That's when our defense is immaculate. But whenever it's literally just a half court defense and they're not planning to have Steph guard ball, we are horrible. Switching, defending, like it's abysmal. It's night and
Well,
day.
until they
It's
actually remember how to play intelligent basketball, like none of this shit is gonna matter
no,
because then the
but
turnover
look,
issue is never gonna stop.
no. So several things can be true, right? When you play point five basketball, you're gonna have turnovers. It's inevitable. Having said that, if you have lesser talent on the floor, you're going to have more turnovers. So it's either you have a guy who doesn't take risks, right, who holds the ball, or you have a guy who takes risks and he's going to have more turnovers. But more often than not, it's the lesser talent who's leaning themselves towards turnovers. Like even if you look at the beginning of the game, I wasn't worried about the run early to start the game. This is normal. This is basketball. It's a game of runs. But great players don't really start the game with just three turnovers back to back to back to back to back. And I'm not even talking about from a Steph perspective because he's being double teamed, triple teamed. He should turn the ball over, and that was not necessarily the
Listen,
case.
Bruce. Let me tell you something, though. I seen, if Steph is going to get the ball, throw it, run around,
Yeah,
relocate,
doesn't make any
right?
sense.
Hold
Doesn't
up,
make any
and then
sense.
get in the corner. This ball gets to Pods, and Pods is going to look off Steph, who
Come
is
on, man.
literally waving at him,
Come
right?
on, man. Come on.
Bro, if
No,
you
no, 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 no. Here's a
bro,
trade off, bro.
no no
No,
no
no,
no.
hold on,
If
hold on,
you
hold
look
on.
off
Here's
Steph,
a
that
trade off.
just to
Here's
get
a
you the
trade
hell
off.
up
Here's a
out of here
trade off. Here's a
immediately.
trade off. Hold on. Here's a trade off. If Steph is going to be out there like a fucking Ethiopian, guess what needs to happen, bro? Get him the rock, bro. You know what I'm saying? And and and
Right.
and it's like it's like, what are we doing, bro?
Erg,
sometimes I'm wondering if niggas is playing for contracts, right?
erg,
So
erg,
because when other niggas weren't passing the ball and you heard all
Agenda,
that shit, bro. Like you heard what
agendas.
happened, bro.
erg.
You heard what
Bullshit,
happened when niggas weren't
bullshit,
passing the ball, right? So
bullshit.
I need him to fucking give up the rock and give it to Steph. You know what I'm saying? He
We're not
can't be fucking
idiots.
waving his hands in the fucking corner, bro.
Urkel, we are not idiots. This is not even a matter of trying to create a narrative because of a nail.
Nah, there ain't no narrative, bro. If the nigga
It,
has a fucking ball in the corner, guess what? Pass him the fucking rock, bro.
but we've seen this. We've seen this repetitively.
Why is the
Like
nigga out there running around, Bruce, and then he's not getting a rock? What the fuck are we
I,
doing, bro?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I always said it. He is a bench player on a championship team. I
No,
don't
no,
think
no,
he's a
no, no, no,
starter.
no, 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 no. I'm not even here to do all of that. I'm just saying that's literally the basis of the offense, right? So if he's going to be there running around, bro, you think he couldn't just do like the on ball shit? We've seen him do that shit before, but no, you got to get this guy going and that guy going. But when somebody's going to like blatantly fucking look off Steph, it's like,
To me, he's an
bro,
idiot.
he's like right there, bro. He's wide
My-
open.
when I hear like the loud voices and the podcast boys and the Odyssey app boys say like one individual has low IQ, that nigga is a dickhead. I would have been slapped the shit out of him because I'm not playing with somebody like that. Because first of all, I salute Steph because if
I'll be
you want
back,
to
y'all.
continue to keep doing if you want to continue to keep doing cross country and run around like you're from Kenya, by all means. But
No,
the nigga,
Bruce. I'm not here to bash the offense, right?
it's
That's not
not
what I'm saying.
bashing. You're just
No, no,
talking
no,
truth.
no, 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 no,
You're
no, no, no,
talking
no.
truth.
Because the shit was working, right? They were producing good looks out of the offense, right?
100%.
But when you got, bro, anytime you
What?
have
What?
small guards, bro, I watched it in 2019, 2020. That team had small guards and it had bum ass centers on the team. This ain't no different because some of these niggas can't guard. A lot of them can't guard, and
Or
it was
most of them
rotation
can't
after
guard.
rotation after rotation. I don't expect Al Horford to be out there, right? I don't expect Horford to be out there guarding Devin Booker in space, right? This is where you need these athletic wings to come in, right? And
100%.
and and when you hear people in the fan base say, "Get this bum out of here, get that dude out of here," this, that, and the other, and then you're relegated to this. This is the
Or
result of that.
so you started off the spaces and you were talking about Porzingis being a team high in the negative, and I don't know if there was an injury, and I would almost hope he faked an injury because his ass was getting cooked. But just be real with you. Outside of like year three, Porzingis has been relatively food on the defensive end. Now with Boston, he was successful in large part because it was a defensive lean team, right? Tatum 6'10", Jalen Brown, athletic, agile wing, right? Derek White and Drew Holiday guards, but essentially scale up to like wings, right?
So I made another
He
observation in the game, right? Um, since I think it was last season, right? I heard people say get a stretch five. Okay.
Mhm.
They're saying get a stretch five because they want to put Draymond Green at the four. Okay. So they're like, all right, if we get a guy at the five or whatever, right? Now, right off the bat, right off the bat, Boston, I'm here reading Clay's thing, but right off the bat, I'm watching Porzingis, right? Can't move in space, right? And earlier on they had Quentin Post out there. And all these teams would do was just put their small forward, right? They would just put their
right.
small forward
They're food
on
on
the
the team.
center neutralized, right? And then
I
on
mean,
top of
technically,
it,
we used to do that too, though. We
right?
used to do that too.
So remember the finals about 2 years ago? They put Jason Tatum on Daniel Gafford, just completely
Yeah,
neutralized
he
them.
was cooked.
It's
Fact.
bro, it's a similar concept, right? So going forward, right? You need Draymond Green at center, right?
And
If
he
he
needs
dies, he
wings,
dies. Okay.
athletic
And you
wings.
need a stretch four. Okay. The last time we had a legit stretch four, we won the title. Bro, that is our problem. Draymond needs to it needs to be Draymond at center, and then you sub him in with another center and call it a day, bro. Like trying to do this thing like the last couple of years and pretend like, oh, we want to preserve Draymond. Strap that nigga at center because the strategic disadvantage by putting a center out there and then it's easy cookings, bro, because you can easily neutralize that center on the perimeter because all you got to do is close out on him. Because then what does he have to do? He has to put the ball on the floor, right? And then you got to worry that he has handles and all of that shit, right? Um, and then I'm not even talking about the defensive part of it, right?
Facts.
This is why I have felt so strongly about the center shit, right? So if you are going to get somebody else in the front court, it needs to be a stretch four. You're not doing Draymond any favors, right? And that power forward, no times are not. You know the prototype. They typically can guard. Think of a guy like PJ Washington, somebody like that, right? Otto Porter, right? Otto Porter, rebound, could guard, all of that shit. You give Otto the ball, he's making decisions, right? Then on top of it, you need a legit small forward, right? Not the Melton at small forward, not GP2 at small forward. That shit does not work, bro. You need
Yeah.
somebody that can guard, right? And here's the other thing. For every title team, if you're gonna have Steph Curry out there running and running and running and running and running,
Well,
you
now
need
on a
somebody
runner's
else.
knee
You
now.
need somebody else who can guard up. Simple.
100%.
None of these guys can guard, bro. None of these. Anytime Steph is out there and you put a guard that can guard next to him, it's cooked, bro. Every time because you're asking him to sit out there and run. You think he couldn't have just gone out there, done the LeBron thing, and 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 load up on stats, and then everybody else said, "Well, shit, LeBron didn't have any help," and he's out there stat padding and doing that nonsense. Come on, bro.
Erg,
He can
Erg.
easily do that.
So, Erg, let me ask you a question, right? Playing lost. I'm looking at a year like 2021, where obviously you saw what Steph was bringing to the table, right? And so, what do you think is the pathway going into the next season to pretty much like, you know what I mean, bring some positive reinforcement and change the direction of the season?
They need, bro.
Wings,
Bunch of
please.
four and
Bro, they
fives,
Wings,
need, bro, they
please.
three
need
and
to get
fours.
rid of. They need to get rid of
Why
all
there's
of
so many
these guards, bro.
midgets?
Yeah, dog. It can't work, bro. There's too many guards on the team. Look, like, and it would be one thing if they can guard, but it's like blow by after blow by after blow by over and over and over again. That's not gonna cut it.
Said since 2019, I don't know what our fixation is with small guards, but we love them. We love 'em. Like since well, it was 2019, we had Quinn Cook. 2020, Brad Watermaker. 2021, I think we had like Kai Bozeman or something like that. 20, I think
No,
2022
it
is
was
the only time we
Michael
didn't have a small
Mulder,
guard.
bro. It was
Right?
Michael
Yeah, oh
Mulder.
my, yeah, don't give me Michael Mortar, bro. What a name. And then 2022, we won a
Let me tell you
championship.
something, bro.
Back to
To
back of guard.
to play this style of ball that we want to play, right? This is what it's gonna look like. Okay. You have two movement shooters out there, and then you have the like two the other two guys is like the Draymond Andre Iguodala types. You know what I'm saying? They can defend, they can play make, and they can make. You know what I'm saying? They can just make a decision. They can finish a shot. Right? We're trying to play a style, right, where I don't even recognize what they're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? And sure, you can say, "Oh, Jimmy, blah blah blah," right, bro? It was the same shit, dog. You know what I'm saying? Although Jimmy was good for us, right? It's the same shit because we still had the small guards out there, and then it was either Draymond and Steph or Jimmy Butler go save us with small guards. It's like, hell are we doing, bro? It was over and over again. So, um, who can you blame the roster construction on? I'm blaming Steve Kerr because there's no reason why all of these guards should be on the court, right? Or on the team. Bro, they had like 9 guards on the team. How the fuck you can have a 15-man roster and it's loaded with guards? What is this, high school? Like, you know what I'm saying? Only on a high school roster you'll see so many fucking midgets, bro. This shit is dumb. It's dumb. And the only reason why we won that last game is because Steph Curry was special, right? And Draymond keyed in on Kawhi Leonard. It's really that simple. That's all that happened. He keyed in on Kawhi. They tried to key in on Booker, and then motherfuckers was just hitting shots. Jalen Green was just hitting shots. I seen Melton out there on Jalen Green, right? There's like 2 seconds left on the shot clock, bro. You got to close out on him. You know what I'm saying? He just let him shoot the ball, bam. And
Right.
then
He
after
was already
that,
on it. He already had like 30 points at that point.
yeah, bro, like you got to close out on him, dog. Even
Jesus.
even if he puts the ball on the floor, like there's no time left. But I get it, split decision, all of that, right? But still, bro, like like so, and then on top of it, turnover after turnover after turnover. You know,
Oh,
so we have these guards on the team. Apparently, guards can dribble, right? So I don't know. You tell me.
Well, they're supposed to dribble penetrate, but ours just dribble on the perimeter.
Too many guards on the team, bro. That's the biggest fucking problem. And people can just pretend like, oh, it's this, it's that. Too many guards on the team, dog.
Yeah, what
yeah.
or they got to get back to the point where they don't listen to niggas who want Chetty Osmond on the roster because, like, just call a spade a spade. You need niggas who gonna guard, bro.
Bruce,
You need the roughneck Ron Artest, the meta
Bruce,
world
there's so many
pieces,
people, right?
the Gary Paynes. You need
I
those
like to
niggas, bro.
call them like the pseudo intellectuals. Like they love to pretend like, oh, they're so much smarter than everybody else and they know
Indeed.
basketball and they're this and they're that. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Like you need dudes that can guard,
Yeah,
right?
No,
The
yeah,
Suns,
facts.
the Suns didn't even make the playoffs last year, right? They didn't even make the playoffs. They had they had Kevin Durant on their team. They missed the playoffs.
100,
They
100%.
retooled. They retooled, and look at the type of guys that are on their team, bro. They retooled
100%.
on the fly.
Athletes.
Exactly. Right?
bunch of
But it's
threes and
like
fours.
we no. We gotta have these guards out there that they can make a decision and they're high IQ and all of this fucking nonsense. Where did that lead us to?
Nowhere.
The IQ stuff, depending on who that word is coming from, it's
That lets
already
nowhere.
there's an undertone. You know what I mean? So like
IQ
that
stuff
stuff is
doesn't matter if it's not backed by execution.
no, the IQ stuff is just a way of saying we don't want certain niggas to play the game. You know what I mean? Like if we just call a spade a spade.
I
You
mean,
know what I mean?
no offense to Will, but I mean, at the end of the day, you just drafted another guard too. Like,
No, but even then, that's an
But
indictment on
what even
them.
is the confidence level
That is
of
an
this organization that they're actually gonna hit on the fucking lottery? I don't care how
no,
loaded it
but
is.
that's an indictment as well because Will is a champion, proved some things early on as a rookie, and in the latter part, he didn't even get no time. So I don't know.
But Bruce, don't you think it is funny though that they can only like sort of hit in the second round, but can't hit shit in the first round or in the lottery? When
I
was the
mean,
last
what
time
was
they
the last
actually hit
time we
on a
had
lottery
that, bro?
pick
We
that they
had James
actually
Wiseman
kept
and
for a
Jonathan Kaminga,
long,
bro.
long, long time?
The last lottery
I
pick
guess
they
now
hit
it's going to be
on
Draymond,
Moody's.
is
Draymond,
Can I
the
Draymond
last.
do I
The
Green,
la-
dare say it was fucking Clay Thompson?
yeah, it is Clay
Draymond
Thompson. The
Green
last lottery pick
wanted
that they hit on
That
was
is
Clay.
sad as
That's
Draymond.
fuck,
crazy.
bro.
Listen. The
hmm
biggest problem that I find, right? And I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, right? Like, I don't know. Sure, the coach is trying to accomplish something, right? But it's like we're drafting guys to fit like this. Like, what the hell are we doing, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to figure out like what wins in this league and just go with that, right? So I see Draymond and Steph and Kerr embracing and all of that, right? So what route are we going now? Is Steve Kerr coming back?
Oh,
I
that
hope
was
not.
Steve Kerr's last game. That hug was like, this is my final run. This was it. I'm not getting another contract. That's what that hug was.
You
Nah,
know, because when I hold
I
up,
think he's
I
coming
hear
back.
Draymond Green talk, right? And you hear what Draymond Green says, right? Draymond is like, y'all don't know anything, this, that, and the other, great coach, yada yada yada, right? So what do you think management is about to do? You
Well,
think they're bringing these
I think
guys back?
management.
Steph
Yeah,
Curry and
I do.
Draymond is going to be
I
like,
do.
"Oh, we want our coach back. We want to run with Kerr one more
They're
time." That's
not.
Bro,
what they're
there's
going to
They're
always
say.
not.
going to be a disconnect. Well, there's already a disconnect though, like
No,
front
no, no, no.
office, ownership, and coach. It's
Yeah,
already a
Yeah,
disconnect.
because
That's
Bob
that's
Myers was
true.
no,
remember the
but here's the thing,
emails.
right? Here's the thing, right, guys.
That's true.
Disconnect is normal, right? When Phil Jackson was coaching the Bulls and they won their 6 rings, there was a disconnect between
Yep.
Krause. So disconnect is not necessarily like some far fetched thing. It's normal. It happens amongst championships. Malone with the Nuggets recently, everybody thought he was going to be there for a while. They got rid of him. So disconnect is normal. I personally don't think Kerr's going anywhere. I don't care what like this little interview
Let me
is.
tell you something, bro. Like the a part of the reason why these dudes have been so successful, right, is because they're consistent, right? I am big on consistency, right? I think if you show up, like if you're a bum ass student in college, right, and you just show up, you can just get a B. You know what I'm saying? I see plenty of niggas who never really studied. They just showed up every day, you know? Next thing you know, they're at some job making 150 grand a year because they were just consistent. They just showed up. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that they were particularly good, they just showed up. So this team was great and they were consistent and they had this thing that they just ran over and over and over again. I think it still works, but they don't have the requisite talent to fit that. You know what I'm saying? And
Of course.
if you watch Steve, right, coach this team over the last 2 months when Steph was out, he was no matter what, he was just running the same sets over and over, right? And you're watching Draymond out there just fucking drowning playing with these guys because it's a
No,
different when you have like KD and you got Clay and you got Steph running off these screens, right? And there's that motion and that chaos that's being created. Now, when you have Pods and Melton and Will Richard and these guys who aren't those types of players doing that stuff, I mean, what do you think you're gonna get? You know what I'm saying? Like you're not gonna get that much. And then when there's certain guys out there and they have the ball and you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. Guys
Did
that
any of the players make it to the podium yet?
I don't know. Guys that run
Huh.
through the
Irk,
Steve
cats, bro.
Steve
It's
just said
like
something
okay.
Irk,
interesting.
in my
Steve just said
opinion,
something interesting, by the way.
what did he
Yeah,
say?
that's. I figured
What
one
you
of them made
saying?
it up
What
there.
did he
What
say,
did Steve?
He
Rose?
said, I don't want to walk away from Steph. I'm definitely not going and coaching somewhere else next year in the NBA. I would never walk away from Steph, dot, dot, dot.
So that basically means
So
either he
he's saying
re-ups.
he's leaving it up to the
No,
GMs.
no, he's saying
That's what.
no, no. He's saying I'm going to re-up, or if I don't get an extension, I'll wait until Steph retires and then I'll join the Spurs. That's what he's saying.
What?
What the fuck is that?
What did I just
He
hear,
might
bro?
look for
What the
Nah,
another
hell did
role
you
in
nah.
like?
The
another
the
organization.
reports the reports been out there of him taking over for Popovich
hold on, hold
because
on, hold on, hold
he
on, hold
looked up to
on, hold on, hold
Popovich.
on, hold on, hold on. The Spurs just won 60 games. I'm sorry, I'm not high on
Like
Steve
Irk,
Kerr.
what?
Irk. I'm
For
just
what?
saying,
Like
Irk,
this here,
Irk.
bro.
I'm just saying. I've seen the reports and I've seen
Bro,
them
why
over the
would they
past
get rid of
5 years.
Mitch Johnson, bro? Like,
Yeah,
Mitch Johnson literally coached that team.
yep. They said the
Yeah,
same thing. Why would they get rid of Frank Vogel, who just won a championship, right?
yeah. I'm not.
Why would they get rid of Budenholzer, who just won a championship? We've seen it. We've
Listen,
seen it.
listen. I'm not getting rid of anybody that just won 60 something games to bring in Kerr so he can play pods over Dylan Harper. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
Like,
That's the craziest shit I've
We,
heard all day, man.
we've
I'm
seen
not
it.
This
gonna
man, why
hire
are you
Steve
getting rid
Kerr
of
so he
Mitch
can
Johnson,
recruit
man?
pods to fucking play over
Irk,
fucking Dylan Harper.
David
And
Blatt,
GP too.
Irk, David
And
Blatt was
GP too.
David Blatt
Yeah.
was having an amazing 2 year run, and he was fired. You know what I mean? So we've seen it.
Bruce, they're not firing Mitchell
Listen,
Robinson.
bro.
Okay,
That's them, and this is
Bro,
us.
you guys sound crazy.
okay.
Mike
Like
Malone is
I'm not.
coaching UNC,
Mike
man. You
Mike
guys
Mike
better
Mal-
fucking relax, bro.
Mike
Okay?
Malone was looked at
If
as the
Mike
best
Malone could get
coach.
fired,
They
relax.
said Mike Malone
Come
was
on,
the best
stop it.
coach in the NBA, and Jokic is the
There
best
is
player in
no
the NBA.
way they're going to keep the Spurs coach over Steve
So
Kerr.
let me
Are
Yeah.
you
ask you this,
fucking
right?
crazy, bro?
Let me
Are
ask
y'all
you
like
this.
what?
Because this is what it comes down to, right? Whether Kerr stays or leaves, there's only one factor. I mean,
Bro, he's signing. He's resigning, bro. Like
Bro,
Yeah, he did that before
it's
resigning.
he's
it is
resigning.
he's
And
Don't
leaving
Nah,
it
talk
yeah,
he's
about
not
up
it.
resigning,
to
man.
the
He's
Bullshit.
not
GM,
resigning.
bro.
Steve is
He's leaving it
resigning.
up to the
I'm
GM.
telling you, he's resigning.
Listen, if who's if Bob Myers wants to resign this, I mean Joe Lacob. If Joe Lacob wants to resign his dude, he will resign. Yes, but it's up to them. It's not up to Steve.
No, it's
Steve
not.
doesn't
It's
want
not
to
up to
go,
them
but through
because
through all
Steph want.
through
Hold on, guys. Steph wants Steve. The conversation's over.
It's over right there, bro.
Guys, come out
Simple.
of the Lululand.
Yeah.
Okay,
You
so
guys are
so
literally sitting in the Lululand.
it's Steph won Steve, but it's never let's help Steph
Steph
win a
wants Steve.
championship. So what's like what are y'all talking about?
Steph
It's never
wants
let's get
Steve.
tools for Steph to win the championship, but it's Steph won Steve Kerr.
Steph
Like
wants Steve Kerr.
bro,
Period.
Bro, he
they
already
if
lost
they don't care
Clay.
Steph
about
He
getting
doesn't
doesn't
Steph
even
want to
want to
players,
lose
be
why do they
another
care
one.
about
coached
what
by
coach
another
Steph
coach.
wants? Why would they care what coach Steph wants if they don't care the players that needs to be around
Bro,
Steph?
he
Like, what are we talking
bro,
about?
he
It's the
already
No,
same,
lost
that's
bro.
a
Bro,
Clay.
Trey,
you
hold on,
you
wait,
guys
I
He
don't
love
know.
the
lost
Trey,
Clay
Trey,
Lululand.
I
Trey,
don't
already.
know
He
if you
Trey,
doesn't
read
want
the
to lose
article,
another
but
Trey,
Bro,
one
the
though.
Golden State
Trey.
Warriors are
That's a
Clay was
fair
worth
when
question.
Clay was
10.8
leaving,
billion
Trey,
dollars because
Trey,
of
that
Stephen
they
Curry.
What's up?
okay. Do
Trey,
y'all
that's a
remember
fair
that in the
question. I
off
don't.
season? Okay,
Yeah, go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Glorious. Go ahead, Glorious.
You
So
niggas
do
are
y'all
talking
remember
over
in the
each other, bro.
offseason, right? When Clay was like, hey man, there was an article that dropped where he basically had to tell Steph, yo, do not put any word from me in. I felt disrespectful for the
Yeah,
franchise.
we
Don't
remember
put
that.
no word from me in. I'm leaving. That's what had to happen for Clay to leave after he was shit for the last 2 years.
I mean, they were not keeping Clay
It's
anyways.
not
They were
gonna
not keeping
do you
Clay
think
anyways, man.
No, no,
bro,
nerdy. You missing
If
the
Steph
point.
had
I
said,
hate this
yo,
nigga
sign
nerdy,
this
bro.
nigga back, they were
This
gonna
nigga's
Yeah,
keep
missing
him,
the
bro.
point.
y'all are missing the point.
Like
Y'all
if
have been
Steph
up here
had
saying
said
for years that we don't get players for Steph. We don't work around Steph. So if you think they don't work around Steph, why would they get a coach that Steph wants?
they would have
No,
kept Clay if Steph had said the word,
hey,
bro.
hold up,
What
Trey.
do
Let
you
me say
not
this.
get?
Let me say this because I remember before the 22 championship, there were certain individuals that's like in the Bay who were like hearing individuals say like, oh, they didn't think Steph was that good. So like when the 22 championship occurred, it was almost like a slap in the face to to people that doubted Steph. So, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you because at times it looked like several things is going on. It looks like they're trying to go towards the future, and then you see so much greatness from Steph. It's like, yeah, we can't go towards the future just yet because this nigga is still great. You know what I mean? So it's like I feel like the organization has been playing both sides of the fence. It hasn't done them any good, right? Because after 22, the formula was there on display, and they went away from the formula. So right now is one of those things, right, where I can't say what exactly they do. But me personally, I know that Steph Curry and Draymond, they want Steve Kerr. So if I was a gambling man, I am saying Steve Kerr is going to return, even if it's a one
Exactly.
year deal
I'm
or a
not
two
putting
year
no
deal.
bet out there that he won't be here, man. He's
Yeah,
gonna
don't
be
hold
here.
your breath on that, man. I don't think Steve is coming back.
He's gonna he's gonna
Yeah,
he's gonna be here next
I
season,
mean,
bro.
hey, bro,
But the problem
like
with like Steve returning is
okay, here's another thing. This is one thing I have to say to y'all. Why wait? Right? If you know Steph wants Kerr, and you know Draymond wants Kerr, why wait?
but here's
What
the
do you
Why not
mean
just
thing.
sign
why
him for
Here's
this
wait?
but
last season
no,
of
but
Steph's contract?
Trey, you also have to remember, right? Although it's like a league, it's sports. There's also storylines, and organizations like to be talked about, right? So just like media reporters like to have hot takes, organizations like to do things to stay in the limelight, and it brings them money, it brings engagements, it bring a microscope. So yeah, we could say that. Like, why not just get it done and get it over with? But trust me, like it's a business at the end of the day, bro.
You don't think the biggest
To
microscope would
me,
be
the
Steph Curry
reason
underneath a new
why,
coach?
no. Again, the reason why the Clay is not wearing a Warriors jersey right now is because Clay Thompson didn't want to be a Warrior. Not because Steph couldn't keep him as a Warrior, because Clay Thompson didn't want to be a Warrior.
So
Steve
so
Kerr wants to be a Warrior, he will be a Warrior, bro.
so
That's
this
end
is
of the
just
day, that's
running
it.
back. This is running back version 4. Like what? Like
I don't think we're running it back. I
I'm gonna
think
be
we're gonna
honest with
make a
you.
real swing at Kawhi Leonard. I
What
think
I
we're
think.
gonna draft somebody good. I don't think
First
we're
of all,
running
you
away
can't
from
even
Listen,
this
get
thing.
Kawhi.
listen. These problems are bigger than Kawhi. And if we get Kawhi, let me tell y'all something. It's going to be another $50 million player
No,
that,
You need another player to load management.
Irk,
I swear to fucking
Irk,
god, just shoot me,
Irk,
bro.
Irk. I'm gonna be honest with you,
but
Irk.
I'm telling
I'm gonna
you,
be.
hold up. Like, yeah, y'all like Kawhi Leonard, the name, right? But look at what beat us tonight, bro. It was multiple guys out there, multiple guys that had some size, athleticism, put the ball on the floor, and they could guard. Did you see when
I
What
guarantee you the
sides?
Suns would have beaten the
I think
Clippers
it
too
was like
tonight.
Al Horford
What
or
sides?
one of them that made that pass in the corner, and dude was just there, bro. They were just so listen. When you win the amount of games that you win this season, that's what your record is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would watch these guys try their asses off, but you always got to a
Eric,
point where you would say, yo, they just don't have the requisite talent. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro,
Eric, Eric, I'm not even gonna hold you, Eric, and I'm gonna keep it funky with you. If I'm doing my due diligence, I'm not running the season back. And I love Jimmy Butler. I've been fighting for Jimmy Butler for years. Pause. But I'm not running it back with 60 million Jimmy Butler at whatever age he is coming back. How do we know how he's going to look? I'm not running it back with a 30 million Kristaps Porzingis where every 2 weeks this nigga has an illness that we can't disclose that we've never heard of. And I'm just keeping it a buck. Like,
Isn't he
Draymond,
a
you my
free
guy,
agent
but
this summer though?
no, he
Porzingis is
is.
not our
Yeah.
center for the
But
future.
he is. But I'm just giving an example. A 30 million anomaly, right? You're making $30 million and you're an anomaly. We can't discover what you are on a night to night basis. And Draymond had a master class the previous night, a player I love, but you're no longer a $27 million player. So I would rather get a bevy of assets that bring different things to the table. Let's say, for example, three $20 million players, bring them into the fold, or even $2 30 million vets, right? Versus $1 60 million player. And we got to pray and do a Hail Mary to hope this dude doesn't
I
get
think
hurt.
I think we just need to do what the Phoenix Suns did, man. We just need to do the same
What
thing.
did the
Get rid
Phoenix
of all
Suns
the big
do?
contracts. They
Yeah,
got rid of
but
all the
that's what
big
I'm saying,
contracts and
nerdy.
got like
Nerdy, I just said that.
championship players. Yeah,
Nerdy, I just
that's what
said
I'm
that.
saying. I said that's what we need to do. That's what we need to do.
But that's
Okay,
what I just
So
so
said.
I got
I'm agreeing with you.
let's no, let's have
So
a
is there
big
a free
ass
agent? Is there a
brainstorm right
free
here.
agent that
What
we can pursue?
what is getting rid of the big contracts looks to people? Because as much as we might not like Kevin Durant is still a nigga. He might not be top 10, he might not even be
No,
top
but
20,
but
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 he's still
but
a real
glorious.
human being
It's
that plays
for
the
me.
basketball game.
Glorious is
What
for
are we
me.
getting for Jimmy Butler
Glorious,
on one
glorious for
year?
me. It's not even a Kevin Durant thing. We know Kevin Durant is a guy, but you see what the Celtics did after they lost the 22 finals. They got rid of Marcus Smart, Defensive Player of the Year, and they went to the Spurs and acquired a Derek White, making $3 million. There are players out there like Minnesota went and grabbed Ayo Somo on a what $7 million contract. There are players out there. You just have to be willing to have done your due diligence, to have observed